So this actually pulls much better than any other 310, and of course with the weight, the power to weight ratio of this motorcycle is the best compared to other 310s. If you're confused between Duke 250 and this one, definitely you should try this one because there are a little bit of ups and downs. Maybe it will stall, otherwise not a problem. But our area of interest is open road. What's up YouTube, welcome to a new video, and today we have the Apache RTR 310. Look at this beautiful looking motorcycle. So this time I don't have too much of time with the motorcycle, but I pretty much got good experience on riding this motorcycle because I rode it in the best traffic, the worst traffic, the best highway, the worst highway. So yes, I know that I'm late to the party for the review of the RTR 310. Damn, I was actually feeling very excited to ride this motorcycle. So let's look at the motorcycle first. I don't know whether I have seen such a beautiful looking motorcycle in the recent part in the naked segment. This one is altogether different level. If I stop in the signal or if I stop somewhere for the group ride and all, this is getting equal amount of attention along with the super bikes. This has a little bit of inspiration from the Ducati Street Fighter V4. If you look at this portion and all, and this headlight and all, the front looks awesome. And coming to the tank size is a little smaller, but again very sharp design. There you can see the chassis painted in white, the aluminum subframe over there, and there we have the 310cc engine, which we have already seen with the BMW G310R or the BMW GS, the RR, then the RR 310, everything. But this one is a bit different. Yes, a familiar exhaust over here, and looking from the back, what a motorcycle, man, what a motorcycle. Are we looking at a super bike? Doing a tail tidy from the stock itself is something great. I mean, TVS has done a brilliant job. So the number plate actually sits on the tire hugger. What a beautiful motorcycle in every angle. And this is not just a beautiful looking motorcycle, it is actually coming with a lot of tech which we have only seen in super bikes. So yes, now let's get into the review. So this is actually not at all a tall motorcycle. So if I sit on the motorcycle, complete planted foot on both sides. And to talk about the riding posture, this is my normal riding stance. I have a little bit of sportiness to my upper body, a little bit, that's all. The mirrors are wide and visible, excellent job. And when it comes to the dial, it actually packs in a lot of information. I actually wish to see this particular screen to be occupying the entire screen area, but nevertheless, let's see what all things we have here. So on the top we have the tachometer, the riding mode over here. By the way, this comes with a ride-by-wire throttle, so riding modes are available. So fuel meter, heat level indicator, then we have the 0s to 60 timing. The top speed, I have done a 154, but 154 in no time. Okay, I could have even pushed further, but it was too foggy here. The odometer, the tank range. So there are a lot many other things. Let's look into the dial. So there are 4 riding modes: urban, rain, sport, track, and supermoto. There are 5 riding modes. So urban and rain are like a little linear power delivered riding modes, and the sport, track, and supermoto is the full power mode. So the difference is, in urban and rain, the power is a little less. In the rain mode, the traction control and the ABS sensitivity is more. And when it comes to the sport, track, and the supermoto, the sport has full power but more ABS, more traction control. Track has less ABS, less traction control, full power. In supermoto mode, the rear ABS will be turned off. And looking into the next thing, we have trip details over here. Trip ABC, there is a day trip meter, and there is a my vehicle status, which has all the details about the bike, and preferences are there. So it has a dynamic headlight. Dynamic headlight means when the time moves from day to night, the headlight actually turns by itself. So that's dynamic headlight. And the DRL, you can keep the DRL automatic or not. And traction control, yes, it is switchable. Quick shifter is there, up and down. Then connectivity, you can pair your mobile and have everything on this. And display setups are there. I'm not going to walk you through all those things. Speed alert is there. I've kept it 160 just to remind myself that I'm riding fast. Yeah, that's all. I cannot say that's all. That's too much of information actually. So by the way, this is loaded with a lot of tech. So there are 3 variants for this motorcycle. So one is a base variant and a dynamic kit and a dynamic pro kit. So in the base variant itself, the traction control, the up and down quick shifter, the slipper clutch, everything comes in. And on the dynamic kit, what we get is adjustable suspension. This one doesn't get an adjustable suspension, so the adjustable suspension comes in. Brass coated chain also comes. And with the dynamic pro kit, we get a heat heated and a cooling seat, so that's the first in class. I don't have that kind of a motorcycle with me to demonstrate that, but this motorcycle is actually loaded with features. And look at that, man, look at the DRL. And this light is the best light I have ever come across on a single cylinder motorcycle. You don't need any auxiliary lights on the motorcycle. The visibility is too good. So let's hear the exhaust sound. Before that, let me comment about the seat. If you're sitting over here, it feels a little cramped and the seat is not so comfortable, but if we sit over here, we have more room. Pillion seat is okay, in the sense if your pillion is not so heavy and not so chubby, then it is okay, he or she can sit, but otherwise it's not a too pillion friendly motorcycle. Now let's listen to the exhaust sound. That's not something great about, but there's a difference. So it's a one-touch start, you don't have to keep pressing it. And the exhaust sound is a little different. The air intake has changed, the tuning itself has changed compared to the RR310. This produces more power and torque, and this is less heavier than the RR310, so that means the power to weight ratio is very good. The exhaust sound is little on the mellow side. Basically these 310s are not great sounding machines, but in this one it actually has compressed that kind of a sound, and when it goes to the higher revs, oh, with that quick shifter, it is a different level. It's a race bike. I'll show that when we go out for a ride. I just stopped here to set up my camera, and two guys actually walked to me and they were inquiring about the bike, and one guy was actually casually passing. He told, nice bike. It is an attention seeking bomb. That's how I had to say. So having a little bit of an introvert side to me, I'm getting socially conscious. It's a nice thing. So yes, let's keep it rolling. By the way, this has a GTT technology also. So if you have seen my RTR, I think 200 or 160 video, then you might know what GTT means. GTT is glide through technology. That means in the first 3 gears of the motorcycle, you just leave the clutch, the ECU will pump in a little bit of fuel so that you don't have to do that thing when you're moving the slower speed. So that's GTT. It's a good thing actually if you're riding a motorcycle in a slower speed. Yesterday I was riding this motorcycle in slower speed for 20 kilometers. You see that? Just moving casually. Second gear also, it doesn't stall. If you're on the road, it won't stall. If you're going in the off-road, probably yeah, there are a little bit of ups and downs. Maybe it will stall, otherwise not a problem. But our area of interest is open road. This thing is nice and fast. So in the 5th gear, I think there are limited choices at 140 km/h, and I did a max speed of 154. That's the max speed I could attain on this motorcycle. This is a rev-loving motorcycle, you know. I was riding this motorcycle inside the city yesterday, and I was feeling that this has a very shorter gear ratio, and I keep shifting into the 3rd gear or the 4th gear quite quickly in 20-25 km speed, and in the 40 speeds I'm actually running at the 6th gear. So the difference between this engine and the RR310's engine is this one produces a little bit more power and torque, and plus this has a bigger sprocket in the rear. So this actually pulls much better than any other 310, and of course with the weight, the power to weight ratio of this motorcycle is the best compared to other 310s. So we will reach that 4,000-5,000 mark pretty easily. Even the 9,000 red line comes so easy on this motorcycle, but this motorcycle actually loves to be in that 9,000 RPM. It's a truly fun-loving engine, and the quick shifter, man, the quick shifter is next level. No doubt this is the best quick shifter that I've ridden on a single cylinder. So let's talk about the engine for some time. So the power is there across the rev band. The top speed I could do is 150, and it easily pulls you. Have to say, got good torque, but there is a little bit of vibration. If you ask me where I can feel the vibration, I feel a little bit of vibration on this area down there. That actually creeps into the seat or not. If I have to compare the level of vibration on this motorcycle with the other motorcycle in the 310cc, this is much refined than the RR310 or the G310R or the GS310 or the RR from the BMW. This is much refined. And if I have to talk about the heating, if it is rolling, there is no heating issue. And also if I have to talk about the rev bands, if you're cruising till a speed of 90 km in the 6th gear, you don't have that kind of any bussy feel. From 90 to 110 there is a slight kind of a bussy feel from there. And post that also, it is refined. It is refined in the sense, I'm not telling that there is absolutely no vibration. You have to expect that it's a petrol engine and that kind of a vibration feel is always there. And yeah, as I mentioned about the heating is not so much. So if you are going in bumper to bumper traffic, after I think 20 minutes and all, I was getting a little bit of heating towards the under thigh area. So the heat is coming like that, but it is managed very well. So that's the feel and the feedback from the engine. Let's talk about the rest of the things. So if you ask me how it is to ride, so I have a almost upright kind of a riding posture, a little bit of sportiness to my upper body. So if you are someone tall, then you'll have a little more sporty riding stance. The foot peg position is good. It is not too much raised. I don't see any problem using this motorcycle for shorter guys. If you're a tall guy and you try to tuck in, then only thing which I see is that the rear seat might touches your butt, that's all. Otherwise you will be comfortable to ride the motorcycle as such. And to talk about the suspension, yeah, this one doesn't get a adjustable suspension. So this non-adjustable suspension is a bit onto a harder side, where you get a lot of confidence when you're doing high speed. Yeah, of course I believe that this motorcycle could be easily taken to the track, so that's the kind of confidence that we get when we ride this motorcycle. So the front suspension is little to a harder side and the rear suspension is actually set to a softer side. So combinedly we get a good highway riding feel, and when we wanted to do some cornering, we get a lot of confidence. And coming on to the brake, probably if you have seen my RR310 review, already I mentioned that this has one of the best brakes in the segment. So this comes with steel braided brake lines as well, so braking is not an issue. But on this one, the difference which I'm feeling compared to the non-adjustable suspension version of the RR310 is that bike had a lot of dive because of the good braking. On this one, since it is onto a little harder side, if I do the braking, this has a very good and a progressive suspension feel. So the suspension is not diving too much. I like this kind of a setup more. And this comes with Michelin Road 5 tires. So the Michelin Road 5 is basically a decent wet grip, very good dry grip road tire, and it has got good life also. I think probably you can ride for around 20 or 25k kilometers easily. And to talk about the gearbox and the clutch feel is actually a bit onto a harder side. By the way, this comes with slipper clutch, so no tire locks on aggressive downshift and all. But the shifting, actually I was not a fan of the shifting on the RR310, but on this one, the quick shifter, that is next level, man. That's next level equipment. Seriously, I could feel that this quick shifter has been developed on racetrack, because I was using the quick shifter yesterday in the city and I was feeling that okay, it's a good shifter. That was my personal feedback. But when I took it to highway today, and as you saw, riding at 9k RPM, opening the throttle and doing that shift, it properly gives a race bike feel. That means, so this is a race tuned quick shifter. The RT on this is not just for the sake of sticker, it is race tuned. I can feel that. Now let's come to the ownership part of this motorcycle. So as I mentioned, there are three variants: base, dynamic kit and the dynamic pro kit. So the pricing is like 3.26 lakh on road, and for the dynamic kit I think 3.6 lakh, and for the dynamic pro kit, like the entire package, it is 3.8 lakh. So if you ask me if it's a value for money, I don't say that it's a steal deal or not, but considering the pricing and the kind of equipment comes with this motorcycle, this is a good buy. Especially when you compare this pricing, you will be mostly comparing the pricing with the Duke 250 or something like that, and the performance with the 390. If you're confused between Duke 250 and this one, definitely you should try this one, because this is more fun to ride and this offers more equipment. Power and torque is more, and the equipment is also more, and the features are also more. Definitely you should try it. Considering between the Duke 390 and this one, the overall running cost on this one will be less compared to the KTM, but the KTM as such has a different riding feel. On a one-on-one comparison, I can say that comparing the quick shifter of these two bikes, I like the quick shifter on this one. But the KTM actually rides way different. KTM has that kind of a different ride feel, especially with the 399cc. That's a different bike, so I'll strongly suggest to ride that bike. This has a shorter gear ratio, that one is not like that. So it's altogether a different feel of riding. So it's not an apple to apple comparison. So this one goes for service once in 6,000 kilometers, and also the first service is done in 1,000 kilometers. So the free labor service is costing for around 3,000 rupees. That's what I heard from the service center. And if it's a paid service, then it is 3,700 rupees. So that seems to be an affordable service bill. And talking about the mileage, yesterday I was riding inside city in dead traffic, so I was getting something like 25 kmpl. Today when I got an open road, then again I was enjoying the bike, so I'm getting something like 25 around. But if you're putting onto the cruise control and all, and then RMs are riding at 80, then I'll say that you will get a better mileage, something like 30 to 35. Now let's come to the verdict. So if you're someone who's just looking to buy this motorcycle for your city use, then I'll say that this is a small bike. First of all, It's easy to ride, it is nimble, it won't give you any trouble taking U-turns, running through potholes, doing bumper to bumper ride and all. But the only thing is, you might be feeling that you have to do a lot of shifting. See that now itself I have put it on the third gear, so you might feel like you're shifting a lot. The quick shifter will take it, but from point A to point B probably you'll be doing thousands of shift. So if you're someone who actually loves to rev and ride, this will be a great motorcycle. But it is not so safe to rev all the time in the city. You have to be very careful when you do that. But when it comes to the highway, this is going to be a very good highway to rev. In the sense, you can put the cruise control and the quick shifter is there, which actually takes a lot of effort. So this is an effortless kind of a cruising. Just that you have to keep yourself away from that 90 to 110 vibration band which I mentioned. And of course, if you are planning this motorcycle for the track, then I'll say that you have to go for the top end variant of this motorcycle, which has the adjustable suspension. I need not say that you should go and buy the climate control seat, but yes, you should actually try out the one with the adjustable suspension. I have tried using that on the Apache RTR 310 BTO version when I did a test ride last time. So the suspension is really good. You can actually set it up for your own likings. For touring as well, it is good. If you are riding on the track, sit it in the harder mode, ride it, and when you come out of the track and you want to do some road touring, put it onto a softer setting, you almost get a suspension feel of a Honda CBR 250R. So that's the kind of feedback from the suspension on an adjustable one. Yeah, of course, a totally positive feel about this motorcycle. So if you're someone who is actually looking for a very beautiful, good looking motorcycle which has a lot of tech, a lot of tech, and if you want to ride inside city, a lot on the highways, good amount of time on the track, this one is a good motorcycle. So that's my review on the Apache RTR 310. If you have any doubts on the motorcycle, do let me know in the comment section. If I know the answer, definitely I'll get back to you. And as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye. What a feel.